Dime qué tú quieres, papi.
Worked was at night, like I say, at night she's working and I'm there with the kids. In the day I'm working and she's there with the kids. So that's what we did for some years. And so I think that it's, for whatever reason, I think that was probably, I don't know what happened. Who knows what happened, but that may have been why we didn't work out in the long run, because overall we was together like 8 years. But you know what happened, right? She started cheating. It was a friend of hers from, I don't know where the fuck she met this nigga. It was a friend of a friend, I think. And so anyways, she used to bring this nigga to the house. She had friends and she would bring this nigga to the house. This nigga was in the house with the friends and we'd all hang out or whatever we was doing. Dominoes, cards, whatever the fuck we was doing, hanging out. I had no idea she was fucking this nigga. But everybody knew, like some of my friends knew and some of my family members knew that this was going on. I didn't know. I was completely oblivious because I was fucking all the way in love. So she did something strange one day. She you know her. She's super fucking clean. She's OCD for real. Like for real. I haven't met a person to this day that cleans as well as she does. This chick knows how to get the dirt from the corner. You know how like on the floors of no matter where you at, house, apartment, the floor, and then you got the corners. There's always dirt in those corners. I don't care whose house you go to, there's dirt in those corners. This chick would get a toothbrush and get on her hands and knees and she would get that shit. That's how OCD she was. She kept our shit fucking immaculately clean. Okay? And she had certain, she had certain things that she did related to clothes and so forth, related to how clean she was. Okay? So one day, so we had like a little clothes hamper that we kept in the bathroom. So you take a shower and you put your dirty clothes in this clothes hamper in the bathroom. That's how we did it. One day she was acting strange one day anyway. She was acting kind of weird and she went to do whatever she was gonna do, a party or whatever she told me it was. And when she came back, she took a shower. And then, so her clothes wasn't in the clothes hamper. Like, okay, so, and then later, so she went to work. Later, she went to work. I took her to work. I drove her to work. Like I said, we shared the car. Took her to work, dropped her off at work, came back home. And for whatever reason, I was like, because like I say, I felt, I don't know, I had some kind of energy or some kind of right. So I went, and I didn't notice her clothes in the clothes hamper, where they would normally be when she takes a shower. The clothes that she was wearing wasn't there. And that struck me as odd because that was how she does her thing. And she has a routine. She's one of them kind of people. She's all the way OCD. So she does things pretty much the same way every time. So, where's her clothes at? So I'm sitting there in the bathroom taking a shit or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I look over and I'm like, the clothes she had on before she took a shower is not there. It would be sitting right on top, right? It would be sitting right on top of the dirty clothes that's in there. They weren't there. And that struck me as odd. So I went to go look for them. And I'm looking through the apartment for her clothes because they got to be fucking here somewhere. They couldn't have fucking disappeared. I find them. They're in like the back of the closet underneath. Like she had like a lingerie or like underclothes basket kind of thing that she had. It was clean clothes, but it was a kind of like a basket that she had like, she kept like bras and underwears. I don't really know. It was, like I say, she had a system for everything. So, I found those clothes that she had on underneath that basket. You know how like, like cum is once it dries out and it gets kind of crusted. It gets kind of hard. Yeah, so her panties was all cum crusted and hard, crispy and shit. When I found them, I was like, "Look at this fucking shit." So, me being the guy that I am, I jump in my car and I go to her job and I say, "Hey, we need to talk." And so she was like, "I'm at work, I'm busy, or whatever." I was like, No, we need to talk." So she told her boss, like, I need to take a break or whatever, so she could talk to me. And so I was like, "Hey, I found your cum crusted panties in the back of the closet." And she was like, "And?" Oh my god. Oh my God! You saying? And I'm telling you, I found your cum crusted panties under the basket in the back of the closet, and then you say, "And?" It hit me like a ton of bricks. And so after that, I said, "And I'm not paying rent no more, and we're not together no more, and this shit is fucking over, and this is fucking it." The big fucking baby I am. I crawl up like a big fucking baby on the couch. By the way, these couches was bought with my dad's fucking life insurance. I got a big, huge check when my daddy died. Even though it was split between the 4 children of us, I got a big, huge check from my daddy, and I bought a dining room table. I bought a living room set and all of this shit, and put some of the money away and shit. So, anyways, I'm laying on the couch that I bought with the life insurance policy that I got from my daddy, and I'm balled up in the fetal position, and I'm crying like a big fucking baby, bro, because I love the shit out of this chick. So I'm on it, like I say, I'm on the couch crying, and then here she comes. This was some hours later, because she left work. She left work, and she came in, and she was like, I couldn't stay at work after I told them I had to go. I couldn't stay at work after you came up there and, said that shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever. So we have our talk or argument or fight or whatever you want to call it. And so like the next day, take her to work. And then I come to her job again. And this time I come with a huge vase of flowers. I probably spent $200 on this shit. The flowers, along with the vase and all of that shit. These were like roses and shit. I spent a shit ton of money on this. And I brought it to her job, and I gave them to her, and I said, "Okay." I was like, "I love you. I love you to death. And I want our family to stay together. You know what I'm saying? I want to be with you, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of my life. Like, this is it for me. But there's one exception. You can't talk to this guy no more. You can't hang out with him no more. You can't talk to his friends or nothing. Like, you gotta X this guy completely out of your life. You can't talk to him or his friends or nothing like that for us to move forward." I'm willing to feel like it's water under the bridge. I'm willing to let it go, but it can't continue. You have to dead it right here. You can't talk to him no more or his friends or none of that shit. That's what I told her. She said, "I can't do that." She said, "I can't do that." So that was it. So that began the roller coaster ride of the breakup between us, which is a whole fucking story in itself. I don't know how much you know about it, but there was a lot of shit that happened. Us fighting, physically fighting. I put her through the wall one day. We had physical fights. She had her boyfriend and his friends come jump me at the store one day. That vase that I bought her with the flowers, she took it to the dumpster and she threw it in the dumpster, and I heard the crash. She threw it away with tears in her eyes. She also tore up my bed because I said, I moved after this. I moved out. I moved in with my mom. It just so happened that my mom lived in the same apartment complex with us at this time, and I moved in with my mom. And so she tore up my bed. This was like a $2,500 bed. It was a wood frame sleigh bed, hardwood, 100% wood. The kind of bed this bed had no screws in it. It goes together. All the pieces just fit. If you know what I'm talking about, there's no screws.
I know
100% wood sleigh bed. This is an expensive fucking bed, bro. The mattress was like top of the fucking line at the time. This bitch tore that shit up and threw it in a dumpster. She knew I would see it because, like I say, we're in the same apartments, with a note on it. She put a note on it and said, nobody is going to sleep in this bed, with you. You know what I'm saying? You can't, she knew it was mine. It was like all the furniture in the fucking apartment. She tore up the dining room table. We had a hardwood dining room table too. She tore that up, and she tore my bed up, and she put a note on there and said, nobody's, me or you, nobody can have this bed because can't nobody sleep in this bed with you. Somebody can learn. Hopefully somebody can learn from this, hopefully somebody, and wait, let me go on, because I'm not innocent in this. Okay. I'm not innocent at all. Okay. And so let me tell you the reason why I'm not innocent, and how things eventually played out. So I'm pissed about how things happened and our break, and I'm living with my mom. And so, like I said, she had a very close friend that was always there at the house with us, and she also lived in the same apartment complex with us. So she was kind of a mutual friend of us, right? So me being hurt and me wanting to find some kind of way to get revenge, guess what I did?
I already know. When you said she had that friend, like, it was like, oh, we know what you done. Say left, brother.
I fucked her friend. I absolutely did. I fucked her friend. It was like her closest friend, her best friend. And I fucked her. And I did it out of spite because I knew that, it's not easy to get to someone like this person, like my first baby mama, to hurt her or whatever. So, and then being the guy that I am, this is not something I'm necessarily proud of. But if I want to get you, I'm going to get you in a way that's going to hurt you. Like, I'm going to hurt you. You know what I mean? I'm going to hurt you because physical pain don't last long enough for this kind of shit for me. You know what I mean? I want to hurt you in a way that's going to last, my nigga.
Yeah.
And so that's how I am. And, that's not necessarily a good part of me, but that is a part of me. So anyways, I wanted to hurt her. And I sat there in my mom's house. I had fun for a while, bro. I went fucking strippers. I dated a little bit, but I wanted to hurt her. She was on my mind, if that makes any sense. So I went, I cultivated this relationship with her friend, and I did what I did. And, of course, she found out. So let me tell the story of the last day I saw my son for 10 years. So, okay, I'm living with my mom. Like I said, I screwed her friend, and she found out about it, and she was mad about it or whatever. But I still got to see my son and stuff, and I still lived with my mom, and the friend kept coming around. Like, after I had used her for what I needed to use her for, I had no use for her anymore, if that makes any sense. But she kept coming around, bro. She kept coming around, and also she was there for me. Like, if she was there for me when I needed this, that, and the other. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about in other ways. She was there for me. like a friend, because she was a mutual friend of ours. And so at this time, like I say, I was trying my best to push her away. I was mean to her. I was very, very mean to her, but she kept coming around, even though I was mean to her, trying to make it clear that I don't want to be with you. But she kept coming around and, being a friend. So as time went on, we actually, grew into an actual real relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up kind of moving in. I moved in with her because I was living with my mom. I moved in with her. We were living together for a bit, and baby mama brought to. At this time, we didn't have the greatest relationship, right? It's still kind of like we're fighting over the breakup because we fought for a long time. Like, this breakup was as ugly as you can imagine, and it drug out for as long as you can imagine. Like, every time I saw her, it was a problem. Her and the dude that she was with, he had a problem with me just really because of the stuff she was telling him, but they had a problem. So, you know how it goes. Like, I'm picking up the kid, a fight or something happens. They drop off the kid, a fight or something happens. Like, this was every fucking time. So, anyway, she brought Tariq to me, dropped him off to me, and he was there, and he got sick. He got like a staph infection. He maybe 3 years old. How old fucking was he? He was a little bitty kid, and he had a staph infection, serious enough to put him in the hospital. I was in the hospital with him for 3 or 4 days. Literally, I couldn't go to work or nothing. I couldn't work because I had to be there with him at the hospital. And she was nowhere to be found because it was, like I say, it was sporadic. She would randomly bring him. That's how she was. She didn't care if I had to go to work or whatever my situation or my schedule was. She would randomly bring him and drop him off. You know what I'm saying? And I would just have to deal with it. And that's just how it was at this time. So this was one of the times she dropped him off, and she was gone for like a week or so, however long. And I couldn't even get in contact with her. I'm in the hospital with my son for 4 days, and I'm trying to contact his mom. I'm calling her friends. I'm calling her, relatives and shit to try to get in contact with her. And somehow she gets the message. She shows up. We're at the hospital. We're at the hospital at this time. But I had moved in with, with friend. And so she came there, to see what's up, basically to pick him up, to check on him, because she had found out he was in the hospital and he was sick and shit. So I have to back up a little bit. So this baby mama number one, she's half black and half white. All right. She has a real animosity towards the white side of her family because they treated her some kind of way when she was a kid. She got mistreated as a kid for being a mixed kid from the white side of her family. And, she didn't have the best relationship with her mom. Her mom is the white one. Her dad's the black one. So she really has a problem with white people. But it's really weird because the best friend is white. The best friend was a white woman. But she really does have a problem with white people. So I have to tell that to understand this story a bit better. So she shows up to pick him up, to find out that I'm living with the friend, and the friend is a white woman. And she really, really, really had a problem with that. Not only that, it was her friend, and she felt like, that was a violation. But violation number 2 was that she was white, So anyway, so like I say, she shows up, and I'm like, she's like, all right, I'm coming to pick up my son. And I'm like, man, I don't know, bro. Like the way you're behaving is not very like, you're not being very like mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that I should let him leave with you. You know what I mean? Because you wilding out right now. You know, and she's like, I just want to hold him. I just want to hold him. Da 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 da. That's what she kept saying. So, and she was crying. And so me being the guy that I am, you know, and I really, that day, I really didn't have no intention of him leaving with her because I didn't feel like, you know, it was a stable situation because of the things that she was doing and the way she was living or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so that day I wasn't, because like I say, I'm in the hospital with him for 4 days and I can't even contact you. So you're not concerned with the health of your fucking child? This is the conversation that we're having. So anyways, I just want to hold him. I just want to hold him. So I let her hold him. This whole time while we're talking or having our argument or whatever, she's texting this whole time. So she had nigga outside in the car waiting. They had a plan. So, you know, once she got him in her arms, then she wasn't gonna let him go. And up pops bitch ass nigga. I ain't gonna call him that. Actually, we're cool. We're cool. We're actually a lot alike. And at the end of the day, me and him would probably be really close friends if it wasn't for her. So, but anyways, this nigga, I kept a bat, and to this day, I keep like a bat in my car. I don't like guns. I just have a thing against handguns. I feel like the wrong people get shot with handguns, so I just don't like them. And I also feel like they're kind of evil, like they're built to kill people, so they have an energy, you know. So I look at things metaphysics. I feel like those handguns have like an evil energy with them. So when you bring them into your vicinity, then they have a energy that can affect you in a certain way. So that's why I don't like handguns, especially to be in close reach and proximity. So I keep a bat and stuff like that in my car. That's what I do. So I had a bat, little metal bat that I kept in our car that she had, because she's driving my car at this time. So and this nigga, he got the bat out of the car, my fucking bat, and on the patio of the apartment, because I told her, you're not leaving with him. No, you cannot leave this fucking apartment with this child. No, you cannot. Here comes old buddy with the fucking bat. Okay, so this nigga got a bat. So basically they kind of jumped me, you know what I'm saying? They jumped me together. This nigga got me on the ground, and this bitch is stomping me. She's holding my child and she's stomping me. And this nigga here got a bat. I'm on his ass though. I grabbed the bat and I feel it slipping. I feel the bat slipping. Like this nigga was about to like get control of the bat and beat the shit out of me. That's what I felt was about to happen. I saw that nigga finger and I fucking bit the shit out of that nigga fucking finger to the fucking bone, my nigga. And I was holding this nigga's finger in my mouth and blood everywhere. This nigga like, get this nigga off of me. I ain't gonna lie, this is a fucking true story. I'm not fucking exaggerating in any kind of way. This nigga is screaming like a bitch. Get this nigga off of me. He making so much fucking noise. Like I say, my mom lives in the same apartments. She came out, everybody was coming outside. People was coming out of their apartments. My mom came out the apartment and she was like, well, first, my Uncle Herman was there. So this nigga really could have lost his life that day because my Uncle Herman is crazy. I don't know if you know him. This nigga's in and out of prison. Like, this nigga don't give a shit about shit. My mama's brother. And he was there that day, too. And he was like, nephew, is this your blood everywhere? This your blood, nephew? I was like, nah. This that nigga blood. I'm talking while this nigga's fingers in my mouth, by the way. Nah. This that nigga blood. It's not my blood. Because he was about to fucking crack that nigga head open. So after I told him it wasn't my blood, he calmed down a lot. because I got this nigga at this point. And so my mom came and she was like, let him go, baby. You know how she talk. Baby, let him go. Let him go, baby. She rubbing my back. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I'm trying to take this nigga finger the fuck off. She rubbing my back, talking about, let him go, baby. Let him go. Chaka, let him go, baby. Let him go. So eventually I let him go. I ended up with the bat somehow. And them niggas, the two of them, after I let him go, they ran away to the car, which was running, and parked on the street. And I'm chasing after them niggas. So let me back up a little bit. When she was stomping me, cause nigga, you know me, I ain't no pussy ass nigga. Like I would have handled both of them. But she was holding my son. And I was gonna get at her ass, bro. I was finna get in her ass too. I was finna get in her motherfucking ass. Trust God. God knows I was gonna get in her fucking ass. But she was holding my son. So if I would have fucking like, while she was stomping me, I would like push her leg or whatever to like push her off balance each time she's trying to kick me and shit. But the whole time I'm thinking about how she's holding my son and I do not want her to fall, with my son or fall on my son. Like he's like 3 years old at this time. 4 years old, I don't know. So that's how that happened. Like I say, and so they ran away, they jumped in the truck and I'm chasing after them with the bat. You know what I'm saying? I ended up throwing the bat at the car as they drove away. And that was the last time I saw my son for 10 years.
How are y'all now though? Like, because I've seen Tariq. He's older, big dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are y'all now?
Our relationship is strange, bro. It's strange. It's one of the things I regret the most in my fucking life is not having him for those 10 years, bro. And I gotta add on to the story as far as the explanation why I didn't see him for 10 years because me and Friend, which is Anaya's mom. So now we can move on to the story. Me and Friend got together and we was in a real relationship. And so baby mama number one was like, you can't have my child around no white woman. I'm not gonna allow no white woman to be like a mother figure for my child or take care of my child. I don't want my child in that house with that white woman. If I would have been with somebody else, I would have been able to see my son. So we were together, so so all of my kids are like 4 years apart too. So that's what's really crazy, bro. It's really crazy. So like I say, about 4 years. I think it's 5 years, something like that. I don't know what the number. My daughter knows it really well, because she did the math and she knows this whole story too. And she says I'm the fucking bad guy in the story. She says my daughter. She says I was wrong for having sex with her friend out of spite and then having a baby with her friend. She said that was too much. She said I was wrong. So that's what my daughter says. That's how she feels about it. So like, okay, so like I say, I didn't get to see him because I was with her. So, and then I gotta fast forward because this is how my life rolled, bro. This is the like tragedy after tragedy. Because like I say, 2002, my daddy died. My daddy died when baby mama number one was like 8 months pregnant with my son. And then he was like 3 or 4 when this happened. And then so I had a baby with Friend, and then Friend dies when baby mama number 2 dies when my daughter was only 3 years old. So this is like this is kind of like one. I mean, it's kind of like one thing after another. You know, the time frame between these events wasn't very much. I have to stress that because when me and Christy, which is Anaya's mom, when we got pregnant, we was living on Sherwood Lane off of 290. If you guys know where the fuck that's at, that's the fucking hood. 290 and Sherwood Lane. It's like 290 Airport or West Airport or whatever. Like niggas that know that's the fucking hood. It didn't bother me at the time. I'm told, you know, me and you, we came from the hood. You know, dope boys and dope fiends all everywhere. Don't bother me really. It don't really bother me. I was really cool with a lot of the dope boys because at this time I used to make music. You know, I made beats and I recorded dudes, and my house was full of them niggas all the time. One of them niggas was a D-boy, and I respect D-boys because this nigga would get up early in the morning, like 6 a.m., 6:30, 7 a.m., and he's knocking on my door. You know, he just want to chill, smoke some weed, and you know, fuck with the beats and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga was knocking on the door like every morning. So like what I be trying to tell people is these niggas out here be grinding too, bro. He got up every morning, literally like 6 a.m. It was a job for him because he was, you know, he was moving his work. He had to get up in the morning to move his work. And like part of his morning routine was to come by my place. And you know, I'm up in the morning because I'm fucking with beats and shit. That's just how I always been. I'm always been a busybody. And he knew I most likely would be up. So he'd come knock on the door and, you know, smoke a blunt with me, and we fuck with some beats and shit like that. So the hood knew me. I knew the hood, and I didn't have no problem with them. Them niggas never bothered me. I never got robbed. I never had no problem. They knew me. Literally, they knew me. They was literally up in my house, in and out of my house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problems like that. But when we got pregnant, we was like, we can't have no fucking child over here. You know what I'm saying? We can't raise no baby over here. No. Both of us was like, no. So we started the process of buying a house. We bought a house. We moved into the house when she was like 8 months pregnant with Anaya. 7, 8 months pregnant. Anaya was not born in the house. She was born in the hospital. But when she was born, we was living in that house. She was conceived on Sherwood Lane.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So okay, we buy the house. Anaya's born. Fucking 3 years pass. Baby mama 2 dies. Accidental drug overdose or possible suicide. To this day, I don't know. To this day, I don't know. Christy was really big with the pills, you know. She was a bit of a pill head. She got it from her mom. Her mom is a bit of a pill head. So a lot of the pills she got was from her mom. The day she died, she had just filled like 3 of her mom's prescriptions. She had a shit ton of pills that day. It was sitting on the dining room table. So whatever, man. I mean, I could tell more about that story, but I don't know that I want to because that shit is one of the most traumatic events that happened in my life. So for whatever reason, she took too many pills. She went to sleep and did not wake up. So, you know, and I was in denial. I remember the day, you know, I woke up that morning and it just looked like Christy was passed out. You know, she drank beers too, you know, she would drink beers and pop her pills or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I thought she had just passed out like she had done many times before. Like, you know, just sleep. I took Anaya to Walmart that morning. I remember that morning so clearly. I remember like all the details of that morning. I took Anaya to Walmart. For some reason, I needed to buy something. And so we went to Walmart. And then when I came back from Walmart, she was like in the exact same position that she was in when I left. You know how like when people sleep, you know, even when they're passed out sleep, they move a little. They're never going to, you know, time passes. They're going to be in a different position, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's passed out drunk. They pass out drunk, but they still not gonna be in the exact same position. So when I came back from Walmart, she was in the exact same position, hadn't moved. And I found that strange. That struck me as strange. I was like, damn, she hasn't moved? Because we was gone for a while. We was gone for some hours or whatever, or an hour, or however long we was gone. We was gone for a while, and we came back home, and she was still in the exact same position that she was in when I left that morning. Because I didn't bother her. Because like I say, this is Christy. She's one of them people, you know. I love the shit out of her. But yeah, she had a bit of a drug habit. You know, we fought about it. But, you know, that was one of the things I dealt with in our relationship, you know. But she would go to work. She wasn't like, you know, she made as much or more than I did at her job. And she would go to work all the time. Like, she did switch jobs a lot, but that's just because of her mouth. And she would get herself in trouble and get fired. But she wouldn't get fired for like doing drugs and not showing up to work. That wasn't the kind of person she was. She went to work. She handled her responsibilities, she took care of her daughter, but she had a bit of a drug problem. And she reminded me a lot of my mom. But anyways, so like I say, come back from Walmart, she's still in the same position, and I'm like, that's weird. So then I push her, you know, I like push her to kind of like wake her up, move her, whatever. And then like she didn't wake up. I push her, I push her harder, and she didn't wake up. Oh my God. I remember the feeling that went through my body. I was like, bruh, I don't think she's alive. You know? I called the police. I called my mom. I called my mom first. I called my mom crying, and then I called the police. So yeah, so basically that's what happened. The cops came. They swore I killed her. They told me not to leave. They told me you can't leave. They said don't leave the city for a certain amount of time or some shit they said. I was like, whatever. I mean, I ain't worried about it. Y'all do y'all investigation. I didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they did a real investigation. They thought I killed her.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I think it's like until they get the autopsy report and shit, you know, they want to see. And that's just like my wife. Her mom passed away, and they grilled the shit out of her stepdad. She passed away in the bed next to him, and they grilled the shit out of him, bro. He's like, y'all questioning me like I killed it, like, you know. But knowing that, it's like that's pretty much. I mean, they have to. It sucks, but they have to question. They have to rule out any foul play. That's just the justice system, if you will. I guess I don't know.
I didn't have a problem with them investigating. I really did, and I felt like they were doing their job. I didn't feel no kind of way about it at all. I was like, you know, hey, I didn't do nothing. So whatever information y'all need, whatever y'all need from me, you know, whatever you need from me, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not leaving this city. I'm here. So yeah, so then they never contacted me no more. So I guess it was the autopsy report or whatever it was that exonerated me, because the cops never contacted me no more.
Yeah.
You know, and let me tell y'all, I fucking and this is probably not smart, but I didn't know. I never spent her life insurance check. Big ass check came. I never cashed it. I never cashed it because I felt like that was blood money, man. That's how I felt. I felt like that was blood money. I don't know. I can't explain it. I never cashed that check. It just went to nothing. I never cashed that check. And so you know the story a bit probably, but I ended up losing the house. I was in the house for a while after she died, but coming home from work, and it was so dark and so quiet in the house, because you knew Christy. She was so lively. She was a lively person. She was always the life of the party. She was always the life of the party. So, and the thing is, coming home from work after she died, and the house was quiet and dark, and it was just like a vibe and an energy there that was fucked up, and it was terrible. I was sitting in that hole completely, by myself. Well, just me and Anaya, and fucking like, damn, like this shit fucking sucks, bro. So I did that for a while though, paying the bills, still going to work, taking Anaya from daycare to babysitter to friend to mama's house to sister's house to daycare to friend and back again. And I only really saw her at night. We slept together every night, but that was pretty much it. All the rest of the time she was with somebody else because I worked a lot at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was paying the bills and I could have kept on paying the bills. But for some reason, I just stopped paying the bills. I said, I don't want to do this no more. So I stopped paying the fucking mortgage. Anyways, I ended up getting I almost did a short sale of my house. So that's a whole nother story. So, but they fucked me. The banks fucked me on that. But I waited too late. But the banks fucked me really. And then that's also around the same time as the housing bubble that they talk about with Obama and the housing market crash. This was all at that same time. I got foreclosed on in 2012. That's when I lost my house. And that's the same year I lost my job. I got fired from my job in January 2012, and I got foreclosed on in like March of 2012. April, May, somewhere up in there. In with me at this time, to help me out because I'm fucking losing my fucking mind. I got this small child. I got a funeral to deal with. She came down and helped me out with that, and then she went back home and got her situation in order, and then she came back and moved in with me to help me with Anaya. That helped me out a lot to have somebody there. Amina and Ewan moved in with me, which was fine because that was a 3-bedroom house. So
yeah,
it was perfectly fine. So, but okay, yeah. So Alifa comes. She moves in with me to help me out with all this, and a bit of time goes by, and so I had a really close friend. Okay, so I'm a manager at a restaurant at this time. I had a close friend who was a server. And she used to watch Anaya for me all the time. She was one of the people that Anaya was shuffled to at the time. Shuffled around to. And so this friend, because I'm going through it, a bit of time had passed. Okay, so I have to say this. A bit of time had passed after Christy had passed away. And I still hadn't dated anyone or even had sex. And I don't know how long it was, but it was a good amount of time. Yeah, maybe 2 years. So, like I say, I had a friend that helped me out with Anaya. So she introduced me to her daughter. She kind of hooked.
okay.
So she kind of hooked me up with her daughter. Because I'm a good guy, and we were good friends, and she knew what I was going through or whatever, and I talked to her about a lot of stuff, and she was just like, let me introduce you to my daughter, whatever. So, and that's what happened. She introduced me to her daughter, and her daughter was also a server, at the restaurant that I managed at this time. So at first, we were just kind of like fuck buddies, if you will. You know what I mean? Somebody to like relieve stress, and basically that's it. And maybe help me a bit with my daughter. You know, that's kind of how our relationship started. We were like kind of like friends. We were pretty much fuck buddies. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty much what it was. And so, you know, and then time, a bit of time goes on. I
Two
try to,
hours.
I try to break up with her or whatever because I felt like we wasn't really in a real relationship or whatever. Like I felt like I was using her, honestly. I felt like I was using her to help me through my trauma and my life and my situation with my daughter. And one day I woke up and I was like, I gotta stop doing this. I cannot be this guy. I cannot just use this girl this way. So I broke it off with her.
Yeah.
6 months, 8 months, maybe I think like a year passed. And so she, you know, kept coming around and we ended up back together. And guess what? That's baby mama number 3. She turned into baby mama number 3.
Yeah. Damn it, boy.
You know, I don't know.
Damn it.
I mean, I don't want to tell too much about that story because I'm really cool with her and I don't want to, you know, I don't want problems with her. So, but like, that just kind of explains how I ended up with 3 baby mamas. So if people look at me and they be like, this guy has 3 baby mamas. Well, let me tell you his fucking story.